let us do a quick reboot and see what happens. Reboot now. Oh, hello. And what you're looking at is systemd boot. This is probably the second choice for Arch Linux, and the most popular bootloader you can have is grub. But here's the thing, we're using Linux. Why the heck would we stick to something that everyone uses? This is a distribution that lets you experiment with everything. It's a distribution that can literally let you delete your own system. Like, why would we stick to just one thing? Let's see what are the other options. How do they compare to grub or systemd, and are they any better for you, or should you even consider switching to them? So if you're new to the channel, subscribe, leave a like on the video, and leave a comment on if you have ever used any of these and would you recommend it to a friend. Let me know in the comments down below. So first, let me show you. Let me make this larger first, because you guys know we don't want to use glasses very soon, and I don't have the fonts downloaded. Give me a moment. And in case any of you didn't know how to get fonts in the system, it's literally a package called Terminus font. Yeah, and as you can see, it's a pretty fresh system. So there we go. Now the first step is we have to make things bigger again. I almost forgot. So 124B, there we go. That looks very nice. And to uninstall systemd boot, it's pretty easy, to be honest. You can do bootctl remove. That's it. Nah, we need permission, my bad. So you can do sudo bootctl remove. That's it. And we can also remove the folder that contained it. So since we are not using it, so rf/ do not press enter at this point. If you have a broken keyboard, just don't type the whole thing. Loader, and I would like to delete the whole thing. So there we go. Now let's see if our boot survived. Okay, we have our boot still. And what are we checking out? The first one that I want to check out is rEFInd. So rEFInd basically, but it's specifically for rEFInd. It's specifically for UEFI system. It's the classic cool like neighbor that you always wish you were. Anyway, now to install it, it's pretty straightforward. We can do sudo pacman-s rEFInd. So it's not refined, it's refined. I don't know like how you make the differentiation between the pronunciation. So yeah, and there you go. It will install a few packages, and as I said, this is exclusively for UEFI. So if you don't have a UEFI system, just don't install it. And to kind of install rEFInd, you can do rEFInd-install, and it will pick the default driver where your UEFI system is and install it on there. But in case you're paranoid, you can do dev/sda1, let's specify where it should install things. So if I press enter, or my bad, I mean just sda, so it will check which drive it should install to. So this is the command that allows us to install rEFInd, and it will find where your UEFI is or file is and install it on there. So there we go. As you can see, it has installed. It's pretty fast and straightforward. So what is the benefit of this? Like, what makes it so special? Great question. Let me show you. So if I do sudo reboot now, so by default, when you reboot into this, so let's see if this even boots up. There we go. By default, when you boot into this, you can see that it just picks the Linux installation that we have, and you can see there is F2 for more options. So you can press F2 to see that what else is there to boot from. So you can see boot with standard option, boot in single user mode, boot with minimal option, and also the LTS. So we can switch between LTS and Linux, which is great. And if you press F2 again, it just brings up this. So you can literally edit where this boots up. So now, as you can see, it has a really nice graphical interface, and I really like it. To be honest, I actually do like it. And the thing is, so what does this support? So first of all, what it doesn't support is BIOS, so legacy boots. If you do have a really old system that you are reviving with Linux, and you don't have UEFI on it, this will not work. This is just for UEFI. And other than that, it does support UEFI, auto detects kernels, it has a GUI, and it also supports other OSs, and the difficulty is pretty easy. So if I had a Windows system, it will just go through the list of UEFI it has, or it will just go through the boot entries and just enter the Windows as the boot entry. So it's pretty easy. So let's press this and let's see if this even boots up. So there you go, and it does boot up. And this is the only one in this list that does have I would say GUI. And yes, I do know grub can be customized to have a kind of like a GUI. But again, this is by default gives you a GUI, and it's pretty straightforward to set up. But here's the thing, it's not as customizable at Grub, and it can be really messy, like with multiple kernels, if it's not like the kernels are not cleaned up properly. But I want to see something. Since it does auto detect kernels, if I just install a kernel, so if I just do sudo pacman -s, I don't know, let's just do Linux Zen. So there you go. So let's see, if I just install it, does it just automatically enter it on the list, or do I have to like manually do something? Let's see. So there you go. Let me just reboot the system again, and let's see if it did detect it. So there you go. If I do F2, I don't see it here. So I don't know. Did it? F2 for more options. So if I do tab, okay, tab brings me here too. Use arrow keys to move cursor. Okay, escape backspace to refresh. So I can do escape to refresh. What is this? Oh no, it's booting Linux Zen by okay, so that makes sense. So the kernel that we just installed, that is the latest one. So if I just remove it, I don't think I should do it, but yeah, I don't think I should delete the running kernel. Let me just, where is the reboot command? There you go. We can reboot, and we can see if I can boot into the other kernel. So let me just open tab, and let's boot with just Linux. So now if I just do sudo pacman -rns, and if I just delete linux-zen, I think it just removes Linux Zen, puts Linux as the default option, and the LTS as the secondary option. I do think that. So let's see if that's true. So now if I go to more options, okay, so with tab I have to select, yeah, there you go. So I think it is booting just Linux by default. And what is this single user mode? Can I just do, let me see what happens if I do single user mode. I think it just lets me have one user. Oh, okay, you're in rescue mode after logging in. Okay, in the root process for system maintenance, I can do this. Oh, so this, the single user mode basically means maintenance mode, so it just puts me in the root. So I don't want that. I want to go back to my user. Oh, that was refined. And again, this is not a full review. We're just testing out, seeing what each of them does. And I do have a question. How do I actually kind of config what it does? So I think there is a config file. So let's just take a peek into that. So I can go my user, and then now if I just again set font -124b, there you go. Now it's bigger. I don't know why I'm doing this in this system, but sure. I should have had a GUI. I think, yeah, GUI systems do take a while. So do I have nano installed? Nope. Sudo pacman -s. I'll get NeoVim because it will give us colors. And we all like pretty colors. There we go. Now if I do nvim and then /boot, I think there was something in here. Yeah, there you go. Refine linux.config. If I get in here, ooh. So these are the options that are available to this. Okay, I won't mess with this because it seems important. But what else is here? Let's see. So I don't know if it's customizable, because usually the config file does lie in here. So I don't know where the config file is. Let me just quickly Google it. Okay, so it is apparently in EFI. Okay, refine, and oh, there you go. We found it. Refine.config. Let's see what's in it. Oh, okay, so this is the, whoa, that's a huge timeout. I don't need that much. Oh, I should have pressed sudo. Oh my god, hold up. Yeah, I should have gone with sudo. Now it should be good. There we go. Now if I just get in here, so we can change the timeout. I'll go with 5 seconds. I think I can also put 0. Log level 1, it says. Shutdown after timeout. So normally when the timeout period is passed, define boots the default selection. Okay, so if this is enabled, so it will just, when the time runs out, it will just shut down the system. You know what? That's a pretty handy tool. What else is in here? Now use NVRAM. So whether to store define specific variables in NVRAM, one true or not. So in files, so directory or define directory on the list of using NVRAM works well with most computer. However, it increases wear on the motherboard's NVRAM, and if the EFI is buggy on the NVRAM, is old or worn out, it may not work at all. Okay, so yeah, it's better to turn it off. Oh, we have screensavers. boots. You know what? If I just enable this and just do 30 seconds, will I get a screensaver? That's great, to be honest. Oh no, my boot is, you know what? I'll give it 2 seconds. No, 5 seconds. Let's go 5. Then what is this? Hard user interface for personal preferences or increase security. Okay, so you can have banner, label, boot option, and text table on the menu. So this basically hides stuff from the boot menu, which is great. Okay, sure, I'll keep that in mind. An option to boot into Mac OS. Why do you have Mac OS on here? Look at this. It says Mac OS. That's great. The option editor, so we can hide the editor and stuff. So actually, you know what? It's just not just for security. You can actually make it look pretty clean. Icons dir, so it's where the icons are. So I think I'm assuming we can customize the icons. You know what? I will check that out someday, but not today. So we have banners, underline, banner, host name. Can I just enable this? I'll just enable all of them. So use a custom banner instead of a refined icon and name. The file path is relative to the directory where refined DFI is located. The color, okay, sure. I'll enable it. I don't know what will happen, but I do think something will happen. So banner scale, full screen. Now I'll just this. Small icon size. So these are the sizes of icon. Okay, so here. Then we have selection. These options take a file name of comparison icon size with the color depth of 24 1 bit. The PNG or icon format is required. Let's just see through a full screen banner. Sure. I don't know what I'm enabling, but sure. Use the text mode only when enabled. This option forces refined to the text mode. Passing this option 0 value causes the graphical mode to be used. Okay, so we can have this like only have text mode, just like Grub. Text mode to be used. Okay, we do have this resolution. Oh, we have resolutions. Resolution for the default is 0. Use the system default doesn't show the later and if I set this to 1920, oh my god, I forgot to turn on numlock. Where was it? Enable mouse. We can enable mouse. You know what? Sure, I'll enable mouse. So where was the? Oh, there you go. I was typing here. 1920 by 1080. I just gave it the resolution it has. So what does this mean? Resolution usually works, but the higher values often don't. You know what? I'll just give it and we'll see what happens. Mouse speed, OS. So we can use graphics for OS X, and so it will say which graphics to use. Okay, sure. And what is this option? Which number tools to show on the tools line and in what order should this? You can show tools in here? Sure. Get everything. I don't know what this will do, but sure. Don't scan. This is huge. We are only 40%. You know what? If you want me to make a separate video on detailing everything and trying to look into this a lot, because there is a lot in here. Yep, there's a lot to customize, which I didn't know even these things have. So I won't go too deep. I'll just save it before I break something. And I don't know, does it auto update? Let us do a quick reboot and see what happens. Reboot now. Oh, so it did work getting into the full screen, which is great. Manage EFI boot order. Did it just go into screensaver mode? Why did it go black? So UI app. Oh, this is the okay. That's great. What else is in here now? If I do tab, okay, this brings us this menu right here. This is normal. F2. This is brings us this as well. Insert. What does this? Same thing. Arrow keys to move, escape, backspace to refresh. I don't know, where did the rest of the things go? Exit, refind, boot computer, manage hidden tags menu. What is this? Okay, there is no hidden tag. About, refined, we can have, see that. You know what, this is pretty cool. I would say this is pretty cool, and I do want to see more of this. And I think it just loaded the whole thing in 1080p. If it did, that would be pretty great. Yep, I love it. Yep, I actually love it. It's pretty great. It just made my whole terminal full screen. I'll just make it a little bit larger, so 132p. There you go. Now it's much larger. So yeah, it just made a whole thing. So let's see the next one. We took a lot of time on this. How long has it been? Oh my god, we took a lot of time on this, but I absolutely love it. Let's see what else can we check out. The next one we have is Limine. I think I'm pronouncing it like Limine. I don't know. But the thing is, it's a experimental bootloader. It's modern, it is experimental, and it supports both UEFI and BIOS, but the BIOS support is the main and UEFI is rare. Lightweight, extremely fast. So first up, let me remove refined. Let's see how do I do that? You know what? I'll make this into a refined video because it's pretty interesting. And the thing that I do have on the list don't seem that interesting to me. So guess I'm cheating on Grub with refined. I do have to change the intro, but whatever. Let me get into the config file and let's see what else we can find because I'm actually liking it a lot. Okay, where was I? But the thing I love about this is most things are, to be honest, pretty straightforward to understand. Because look, for example, the resolution, like it just says resolution. I just typed in 1920 by 1080 and it just said sure, why not? We can enable touch, we can enable oh, I didn't check the mouse thing. Okay, we have time, let's see. Then we have, and I think this just supports everything universally, right? I think the scanning for all tools provide the show tools line with no options. Okay. I don't know. There's Apple recovery. I don't need that. Let me see. Boot order, gdisk, memtest. I don't need half of this. Hidden tags. I'll take reboot and exit. Firmware fu update. I think I don't have gdisk installed, so that's why it's not showing that. Possibly. I'll install it. Also scan tool directories. Okay. Don't scan tools. Windows recovery files. Okay, that's great. Scan drives. In case you are wondering what I'm reading so fast, I'm just looking at the last line of each paragraph. So that's where the actual line is, which is great. Scan for internal and so what is this? I think which types of bootloaders to search and in what order to display them. Displays bootloaders like external EFI. I don't know what this part means, but seems handy. UEFI deep legacy scan. By default, UEFI relies on UEFI firmware to detect BIOS mode boot devices. This sometimes doesn't detect all available devices. So it does have some support for UEFI, which is great. I have to try that sometime. Also scan directories. Okay, don't scan volumes. Don't scan dir. Like I can see myself like getting into this bootloader. So maybe next time, like every time I install the other bootloader, write systemd verse to write the systemd EFI variables currently only loaded device when launching Linux via the EFI stub loader or grub. This variable, when present, causes systemd to mount the ESP add boot or -EFI if either directory is empty. So I think this can load grub and systemd as well. Next video or somewhere I will install every single grub loader. So every single bootloader. We'll see what happens. Okay, so there is default selection. So we can have like what we want to select. So default selection 1, default selection Microsoft. I like the fact that they kind of give us multiple examples. Like instead of just saying, yeah, this is how to do it, they just say, okay, here are a few examples on how you may want to do it, which is great. I do like it. Okay, what is this? Enable VMX, lock CPU MSR if unlocked on some Intel Apple computers. The firmware does not lock them. Okay. That is actually great. So spoof. Oh, we can spoof stuff. Nice. Tell my CFI the macro is about to be launched even when it's not. This is actually a nice thing. We can tell macOS it's something that it's not. Wait a minute. So does this mean that if it's launching something new, so some hardware devices when needed, a value of 10.9 usually works, but okay, what is this? Now launch when it's not. Tell Max EFI that macOS is about to be launched even when it's not. This option causes some Macs to initialize their hardware differently than when a third-party OS is launched normally. In some cases, particularly on Macs with multiple video cards, using this option can cause hardware to work that would not otherwise. So this is kind of like a Mac compatibility layer. This is amazing. Again, if any of you have used this or are a long-time user, let me know what the heck do you think and how do you configure this. This is like new territory to me. I think you can tell that I'm pretty excited about this. What is this? CSR? Well, so what I'm getting from this is there is a lot of Mac thing. I include a secondary configuration within this one. This secondary file is loaded as if its options appeared to the point of the include token itself. So if you want to override the settings in the main file, the secondary file must be referenced after the setting you want to. So this is basically for if I want to modify some settings, which is great. I like it. And what the heck is this? Simple manual configurations standard. Each begins with. Oh, so I think this is the entry thing. Passing a root option below several sample boots and standards. Oh, okay. So this is basically telling that what to boot, how to boot it, and yeah, that's basically it. Why does this say disable? What does this disabled mean? More complex Linux example. Oh, okay. Below the most complex specifically for Arch Linux. Okay, a bootloader of culture, I see. Okay, this example must be modified for your specific installation. If nothing else, the part UID code must be changed for your disk because Arch Linux does not include version numbers in its kernel, and in it are the file names. You may need to use manual boot stanzas. I think that's how it's pronounced it. When using fallback init or multiple kernels with Arch. This example is modified from one in the Arch wiki page. Okay, so we can check out the wiki for this, which I will not be doing. So there is icons and stuff, volume, Arch Linux, loader. Okay, so what I can tell from this is there is a lot that can be done. What is it? Boot using for there is a sub menu thing, and I think we have to change this to be our drive. I will actually play around with this, but not this video because this will get pretty long. I am in awe just seeing the amount of things it can be done. You know what? I will probably be in awe with grub as well because I have never took the time to experiment it. Now, a sample grub entry for loading Ubuntu. Sorry, a sample entry for loading Ubuntu using its standard name. I think these are just predefined, and this is what actually boots stuff because Windows via shell script. Mac is now directed and run automatically. However, if you want to do it, the one does nothing very unusual, but it may serve as a starting point. Note that you'll almost suddenly need to change the volume line for this example. Oh, so basically I have to change each of them, like what they do and whatnot. So yeah, this is basically if I want to manually configure them, and that's basically the end of the file. I like it. To be honest, I don't know if I do like it more than grub because the selling point of grub to me is that it's easy. Comparatively, it's pretty easy and it's really customizable, so you can make it look however you want. But the thing with grub is, though it is I would say easy, but the thing with grub is it's also kind of old, and the configuration for it can get pretty confusing. And for example, this everything is explained and kind of guides you on what you should do, what you shouldn't do. If you are someone who is developing this, or maybe you are, I don't know, you do like to read, which I do not like that much, this is probably a pretty great option. You know what? I will be switching to this bootloader. That's how much I like it. So I would call it at that point. This is probably not the best video you can ever see, but to be honest, it's great to try something new once in a while instead of just sticking to what you know. So this is kind of like that kind of experience for me. If you did enjoy watching this, or if you found something new yourself, let me know in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.